What's going on, creative people? This is Creativity is an Idea podcast, a source of creativity for creative people. And today's guest, okay, let me adjust my hat. I'm just trying to flip my hat just to be like him, just to be like him. His name is Gomillz. You listening? Gomillz. He's a rapper. He's a rapper, and I've known him for 2 years now, which is like 347 days in a week. Oh, in a year. Hey, whatever that how many days we have, I've known him for 2 fucking years. We're looking for trouble. We're
Definitely looking for trouble.
Where
Yeah, he's in the video.
Yeah, yeah, that was in the video
He's in
too.
the video.
Yeah. So, Gomillz, first off, I want to say thank you for being a guest on this show.
I appreciate
I
you.
really
Man.
appreciate it. Yeah, it means a lot.
Thank you for having me, man. Thank you
It
for
means
reaching
a
out
lot.
to me.
It means a lot. So, Gomillz, people are ready to hear who you are,
Yeah.
People are ready to hear what you've been through so that they can be inspired or get something from it.
Yeah. Okay.
And people who are also rappers are going to listen to you and they will know they are not alone.
Yeah.
There is someone just like them out there, and that is Gomillz. So, Gomillz, who are you? Tell me.
Born and raised here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Grew up on the west side. I would like to think I'm just a pretty laid back dude. I think my music kind of reflects that. Pretty socially aware. So I like to put that in my music as well. Whatever's going around socially, whatever's happening with me, I like to be as honest as I possibly can. I don't, I like to make music that I feel. The way I look at it is, I like to make music that people can feel. You know what I mean? Like I want you to hear it, and I want you to feel something when you hear it. Whether it's a good song, whether it's something traumatic, whether it's just something upbeat, like whatever it is. Like I want you to come away like you felt something. You know what I mean? Like that's me, man. Just all around. Try to be an all-around person and rapper.
All around person and rapper. Hey, he has a family,
Oh yeah, man. We just had my first son in April. So he's 3.5 months old. April 11th. His name's Blake. So that's my guy, man. If you follow me on Instagram, then I'm always posting him on my IG stories, like doing goofy shit. So
Wow, that's excellent. So, Gomillz, you have a kid right now, and the kid is going to grow up and become a big man.
yeah, yeah.
So, you growing up, tell me, how was your childhood like?
My childhood was good as far as I was concerned. You know what I mean?
I was concerned.
You know what I mean? Like, I grew up on the west side of Charlotte. I grew up in Westwood Apartments. They got torn down actually like 10 years ago. It's like townhomes and shit. So it got gentrified. But I grew up in Westwood Apartments off Freedom Drive over by Columbus Circle. And when you're a kid, you don't know you live in a bad neighborhood until you get older. You know what I mean? Like when you get older, then it's like you see. Like then you start to realize the things that like you're like my mom was a single mom. I didn't have my dad. So then you start kind of seeing the things that like your mom or like your other family members try to shield you from. But as far as just my childhood in general, like it was fine. A few rough moments and rough patches, but my family's really big and we're really connected. So if somebody didn't have something, somebody did. You know what I mean? So I mean literally I had 2 aunts that stayed across the street from me. My grandfather stayed all the way up the street. I had another aunt that stayed in the neighborhood behind us in Columbus Circle. So like my family was always somewhere. My cousins is always somewhere. So it was good. Like I said, a couple rough patches. That happens when you grow up in bad neighborhoods. As far as seeing and experiencing things that maybe kids shouldn't see and experience. You know what I mean? Like violence and drug dealing and shit like that. But overall, I felt like my childhood was great. You know what I mean? I'm a well-adjusted person in society. I'm not a criminal, so I think I did all right.
This is where we say the package is safe.
Yeah, exactly.
He came up pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay. Talking about rough patches, that got me curious.
Yeah.
Gomillz. When you were growing up, or even now, what event wouldn't you ever forget?
Um, I had. Well, it's multiple, but I think like as far as like my childhood is concerned, I would probably say it's one event that I'll probably never forget. Two. One's good, one's bad. The first one is the bad one, and it's we had a Christmas where we didn't have any lights, and I don't mean like Christmas lights. I mean we didn't have lights. Like we didn't have electricity in my
Main
house.
power.
So we had to I had to take my presents up to my grandfather's house to open my presents. You know what I mean? Like and play with my presents that night. Like I do remember that. It was fairly young, but I do remember that. Another moment that I'll probably never forget. And it's really more of like a season. It was a summer. I broke my arm when I was going to the 7th grade, and I had to spend my entire summer with my granddad because I couldn't go play. I used to play basketball and baseball, so I only had one arm, so I couldn't play basketball. I couldn't play baseball, so I had to spend my entire summer with my granddad. But it taught me so much, like structure. Like he's not like a overbearing or like a, you know what I mean, like a strict person. But it's just like seeing a person wake up at the same time every day. You know what I mean? Like he wake up at the same time every day, make breakfast for me and him. My grandfather was older, so we would like go walk around the mall because that's what old people do in the morning. So I'm like 13, 14. I'm like 12, matter of fact, walking around the mall. Then we'll go get lunch. We'll go home. My grandfather used to run like a gambling house, so we used to go around to the gambling. Yeah, he used to go around the gambling house, and he'd probably be collecting money. You know what I mean? Whatever. So, but
The
like,
boss is here.
yeah, you know what I mean. But like, just seeing a person, and I was in the 7th grade, so I was like 11 or 12. My granddad was, at that time was probably like in his late 60s, early 70s. You know what I mean? Like how old is my grandfather now? He turned 97. So he's like, actually he's probably older than that now. Now I think about it, because that was like maybe I'm 29, so that's probably like maybe 17 years. So he's probably like 80 years old. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So he's probably like 79, 80 years old, and to see a person, I mean, still in good mind, still driving. And to see a person do that every single day, you know what I mean? Like, just see a person wake up at the same time, do what they feel like they need to do for themselves, and then me, you know what I mean? Like, because you know what I mean? And so seeing that, it taught me a lot just about, it just taught me about day to day. You know what I mean?
Day to day.
Like, you need some type of, like, life is crazy, so you need some type of, like, stability. You know what I mean? And that's what you can control. Like, I can't control if somebody comes out and hit my car. You know what I mean? Like, those are things that are out of my control. But, like, every day waking up at the same... And now I catch myself doing... You know what I mean? So, like, since I was probably, like, in my I'd probably say, like, early 20s, mid-20s, I found myself, like, now it's like, no, I wake up at the same time. I make sure I do this. I make sure I do... You know what I mean? Like, control the things I can control to kind of have some type of balance and stability. Because anything can happen. You know what I mean? But as long as you like got some kind of center, which is how I kind of view it, like as long as you got some kind of center and some kind of balance, then nothing can really ever take you off your, you know what I mean? Like you can never be off your game as long as you always balanced. You know what I mean?
Because you have a clear path of what is you're going to do next.
Yeah.
Not what is next, but what you're going to do.
Yeah,
next.
and what's necessary. You know what I mean? So like, if like to even take it further, like just like with music. It's unpredictable. You know what I mean? There's no guarantee that I'll get rich or get famous. You know what I mean? But I have a set goal every time I start a project, every time I do a video. You know what I mean? Like I have a set goal. I want X, Y, Z to happen. I want A, B, C to happen. Or I want to finish it by this date. I want to have pictures done by this date. I want to have the artwork done by this. You know what I mean? So like that just allows you to keep your balance and keep some type of consistency in your life. You know what I mean? Because like I said, anything can happen. But as long as you got that balance and that consistency, then nothing will really ever throw you off. And as long as you stay consistent in what it is you do, you're bound to end up to get whatever you feel a success is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like somebody else may say success is something else, but I'm successful if I did these things the way I wanted to do it, and I did it at the best of my abilities, then I was successful at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that sounds good. Wow, that was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot to digest. So, tell me, Gomillz, you just mentioned you doing music. So tell me, when or how did you get the idea to do music?
Um, it's a funny story actually. I A lot of people don't know, but the person that actually made me start rapping was Eminem.
Oh,
Like Eminem like made me want to rap, but how I started rapping was um I remember it had to be, I think the first time I wrote a rap I was in the 5th grade. I was probably like 10 years old.
mhm,
And I in my 5th grade class we had to like do like a presentation for like a skill or like something that we were good at.
mhm,
And at that time, um, I really didn't know what I was good at. You know what I mean? Like I used to, like I said, I used to play basketball and baseball, but I didn't play organized until I was like older. So I
mhm.
didn't have like any trophies. I didn't have any ribbons I didn't have any of those things. So I was like, well, what can so I got there's people coming to school and they're bringing these plaques and they're bringing this. I dance, I do this, and it's like, well, I don't have anything. Like, what can I say I'm good at? And I used to like just kind of, I was like, well, I used to kind of like write a little bit, but I didn't, you know what I mean? But I was just like, I'm gonna just write a rap, and I'm gonna go to class, and I'm gonna say, hey, this is what I'm good at. So I wrote a rap, and and that was my talent. Like I took it to class, and everybody was. I just remember my whole class being like, wow, that was really good. You know what I mean? Like that was really good. And I was like, okay, I think you know what I mean? Like I think I got something. You know what I mean? But that's how I started rapping. Eminem, and trying to figure out what my talent was, and I realized on the spot that was what my talent was.
Eminem the rapper, not the
Yeah, yeah, not the candy, man.
yeah. Nowadays, when you go on social media, you see crazy stuff, comparison. Yeah, that is wonderful. So, Eminem was, then I would say Eminem was your influencer.
Yeah, that was who made me start rapping. He's definitely like one of my favorite rappers. My favorite rapper is Lupe Fiasco. Like that's my favorite rapper.
Hmm.
Period. Like all time. But as far as like making me rap, it was just watching, like listening to Eminem. It was just like I never. It was like I never seen a person that was that good at the skill of rapping at that age. You know what I mean? Like I had heard good rappers like Jay-Z and all these. So I had heard people that could rap, but Eminem was just, he seemed so otherworldly. Like he just seemed so much better than everybody else. And he was white. Yeah, he was a white dude. He's like from a trailer park and shit. You know what I mean? It's like he was just so good, and it was just like wow. And I tried my hand at it. But I definitely kind of found, as I got older, I kind of found my way. You know what I mean? Because what Eminem raps about and what I rap about is completely, you know what I mean? It's completely different. It's night and day. But just seeing somebody that was that good at it inspired me to want to try it.
To do something like be yourself, be your own
Yeah,
rapper.
exactly.
That's good. That's good. So there is always this law which I paraphrase. It's a Newton's law, and I'm going to ask you, Gomillz, what? Let me tell you the law first. The law, paraphrasing. The law says, in order for you to go up, you have to let certain things down. So, what did you think, or what do you think you had to let go before you saw progress?
I can tell you exactly. And it's actually something I've rapped about a lot of times. When I was in college,
Mm-hmm.
I was actually in a group. It was 4 of us, and people used to tell me all the time, like, Jordan, you should. Well, that's my real name, Jordan.
Yeah.
Oh,
Spill the beans. Now.
yeah, right. That's my real name. But people used to tell me, like, Jordan, you should do something individually. Doesn't mean that you don't want to be in your group,
Mm-hmm.
but you should do things individually. And I used to be like, no, I'm with my guys. We're doing this group thing. Like, that's what it is. I don't want to do anything individually. I don't want to do anything individually. And then I think I would say I was around like 22 or 23. And I had the idea. I was like, you know what? It made sense to do something individually, but I didn't want it. I there was still a part of me that kind of felt kind of guilty about it. You know what I mean? So I took it to my guys. I was like, hey, we should all do something individually, because if it's four of us, nobody likes all four of us equally. You know what I mean? Somebody likes you more than they like me. Somebody likes me more than they like him, and so on and so forth. So if we all maybe do something individually, we can kind of get people that like you, more people that like you, and more people that like me, and then we can say, hey, I got a group too. Boom. You know what I mean? So now your fans become our fans, and my fans become everybody. You know what I mean? And so everybody was with it. I wrote a mixtape. It was my first mixtape. It was called "Can You Hear It Coming?" And we get to this. I booked like a 10-hour studio time, because that was like enough for because we was only just like, we wasn't really making songs yet. It was just like, it was just a bunch of people rapping. You know what I mean? So it was like, I booked a 10-hour studio slot. We could all go in there, you know, hour and a half to 2 hours, probably take an hour break sometime, you know what I mean, to eat or do whatever. And we could all probably get something done, you know what I mean? Like, I was doing 10 or 12 tracks, somebody else could do whatever, you know what I mean? And we could all get it done in this 10-hour span, you know what I mean? And I went, and it was me and one other person had something. So 2 other guys, they didn't have anything. One of them was just kind of strictly like, I don't want to do anything individually. I just want to do group stuff. Another person just didn't have anything ready. And then it was me and another guy. So I was like, okay. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I do that. And that was back in 2011. And I haven't done a group project since. Like, and that's when I kind of started singing things, which is crazy, because now when you're working by yourself, you don't have to wait for other people to get done writing. You don't have to wait for other people to find beats, or you don't have to wait for their schedule. So I dropped that at the end of 2011. I dropped like 2 projects a year for like 3 or 4 years. You know what I mean? Because I didn't have anybody else to wait on. I didn't have to wait for nobody else to write anything. I didn't have to wait anybody else for anything. So I was literally just going and going and going. I started getting shows. I started, you know what I mean? And like, you know, my vision as far as videos and merchandise, like, I just started being able to do things that I had an eye to do, and things that I would mention for other people to do. But, you know, some people are not as motivated as you sometimes. They're my friend. I love those guys to death. You know what I mean? So it's like nothing. I love them to death. They were in my wedding. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's any bad blood. But I realized, like, and maybe I should have realized it when I was 18 instead of 22. You know what I mean? Like, who knows how much further I'd be along if I realized it when we was doing this at 18, 19, instead of me waiting until I was like 22 years old to do it. You know what I mean? But that was what I had to let go. I had to let go of my friends. I had to let go of being in a group and just go solo.
Or at best, waiting on someone.
Yeah.
As you wait till you turn to skeleton.
Basically.
Yeah, that is amazing. Wow. So don't wait on someone. Keep going. And obviously, from time to time, you will need help. You can't go on your own, but just don't wait for someone.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're going to bring me this. I have to wait for this and that.
Yeah. You definitely
wait and wait.
Yeah, like, you definitely want to make sure you establish connections. You know what I mean? But just as far as if you're with another person and you both have a goal in mind, but it seems like you want it more than them, or it seems like you're ready to move, and anytime you're ready to move, they're not ready to move, then move. Don't wait on them to move. You know what I mean? Like, do like, hey, well, I'm gonna do it anyway. Maybe it might motivate them, or maybe they might get left behind. You know what I mean? But you only get one life, man. So don't wait around.
Just to piggyback on what you're saying, it's just like when you are on a two-way, like when you're driving, right? And you're behind a driver, and the driver is going slow, and you start whining and bitching. Sorry. And saying all those insane stuff, complaining, oh, why is he going too slow? Meanwhile, the other lane is open.
Just get over, man.
Don't blame, oh, I'm late for work. What is he doing? Just pass and zoom.
Yep.
Just keep going.
Exactly.
You know. And if there's no way, just wait for the right timing, keep going. And when the right time comes, you just move into your path and you keep going. That is really good, Gomillz. So, Gomillz, let me ask you. I'll wait for you to sip your water. Water is life. Hey, let me ask you, Gomillz. So, day in, day out, right? You said something about your granddad. Waking up, being consistent with what he does for himself and you. So, you waking up day in, day out, what do you do to see progress?
Right now, it's waking up, and like I said, I got a baby boy.
Uh-huh.
So first things first is him. You know what I mean? It's if he's asleep, then it's cool. You know what I mean? Then I can take my shower and do my thing to get ready. But if he's up, first things first is him. Feeding him, getting him clothed. Probably if it's early, he'll go back to sleep anyway. So put him back to sleep, and then I start my day. I gotta make sure I do. I'm not like a big workout person. I don't go to a gym, but I do like a home workout. Like 25, 30-minute home workout. So I want to make sure I like doing that in the morning because I feel like it makes my mind kind of start going. You know what I mean? And it wakes my body up. So do like a little home workout. Eat breakfast, and then after that it's just about music. So every day I want to try to read something about my industry. You know what I mean? So, and about how to get further in my industry, right? So whether I'm reading about social media marketing or PR or streaming platforms, right? Or so try to read one or two pieces in my industry to try to help broaden my knowledge on how I can get further. I want to make sure that I rap in some form, some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? Like, even if I don't write a rap, I want to make sure that I'm constantly keeping my mind sharp. So I'm freestyling throughout the day. In my head, I'm just freestyling, or I might just be rapping in the house, or I might be rapping in the car. So I want to make sure that I'm rapping. At this exact moment, because I'm working on a project, I actually want to make sure that I'm actually writing, because I'm actually working on finishing a project. So any ideas I have, I want to make sure I put them on paper so I don't forget them. And then I write out, and then I check my goals, because I make goals for each week, and I make goals for the month. So it's like, have I progressed on my goals? If I'm trying to write 2 songs in a week, and it's Wednesday, have I started the song? Have I, you know what I mean? Like, have I started one? Have I finished one? I need to start the other one. Like, I got till Saturday to do it. You know what I mean? So like, how, making sure that I do that. So yeah, that writing my goals out for like each month and each week is the main way I try to see progress. And then day to day, just waking up at the same time. Wake up at 8 a.m. Do my, get my son ready if he's up. If he's not up, then do my home workout. Get some breakfast, get a shower, and then, just go into, hey, what's going on in music that I missed, you know what I mean? Or how can I get my Instagram followers up? How can I get my Twitter followers up, or my YouTube followers up? Or, what can I buy to have at home that I can maybe save on going to a third party? You know what I mean? Like, what can I bring inside my home that'll cut out some costs for me? That'll ultimately help me make more money, and I keep it in the same way you got your podcast set up. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you don't have to give your money to a third party. You spend it, and then when everything happens, it goes to you. You don't have to keep worrying about running out of space. You know what I mean? So that's all it is, man. Just writing my goals out, making sure that I'm trying to stick to them.
Day in, day out.
Yeah.
That is excellent. So, talking about finding more information about your industry, tell me, what are your views about your industries?
I love where music is. I think I love where rap music is specifically. I think a lot of people get kind of hung up on the fact that, on like this mumble rap thing, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? So I think a lot of people get like so hung up on it, because it's like, they're not rapping, or that's not rap, or that's not hip hop. But I love seeing any young black male or woman thriving. You know what I mean? And being creative doesn't have a blueprint. You know what I mean? Hip hop doesn't have a blueprint. Music doesn't have a blueprint. There's no anything set in stone to say, hey, this is what it is. And I think sometimes people get so bogged down into it, but it's like we don't allow for hip hop to have subgenres. You look at rock music, you got soft rock, pop rock, heavy metal, scream. You got all these subgenres. You look at pop, you got, you know what I mean? Like, you got all these subgenres, but then people get people just get so hung up on what hip hop is, but it's like, no, you got trap, you got conscious, you got lyrical, you got, you know what I mean? Like, you have all these things that's under, you know what I mean? So I love it. I love where it's at, and I love streaming. I love the fact that I love streaming. I love social media because I love the fact that you don't have to sell CDs out of your trunk anymore. You don't have to wait for a record label to try to discover you. You can literally break yourself. You if you stay consistent on social media, you stay consistent with the music, you become a star. And nobody can take it from you. Like, you're literally an independent star. You can make all the money. You don't have to give it to no label. You know what I mean? Like, you just have a team in place, manager or this or that, and it's just y'all. You don't even have to have a big machine behind you. So I love it. I love it. I love the mumble rap. I love the trap rap. I love it all. Like, I love seeing I love to see where it's going because hip hop literally influences everything. You know what I mean? And as far as pop culture is concerned, somebody's using our slang somewhere. Somebody's dressing like us somewhere. Somebody's dancing to our, you know what I mean? Like, look how big Cardi B is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People talking like her, and you know what I mean? Like, so I love it. I love it. And it's only gonna get better. It's only gonna grow higher. So I'm just trying to get my little piece of the pie.
My little piece of the pie.
Yeah, man.
Hey, come to think of it, Gomillz, you have a source of influence. So tell me, what is your source of creativity? What inspires you to grind, do what you're doing now?
As far as just day to day, I'm gonna answer it in two parts. As far as just day to day, then it's just, my family. You know what I mean? I got a wife, I got a kid. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, she works, but still, you kind of take on that. I'm the man. I want to provide for them and give them a great life. Musically, it could be anything. My source of inspiration musically typically comes from life. I feel like I tend to write better when I'm experiencing like extreme. I don't want to say extreme emotion, but just really deep emotion. So, and that's whether it's like my aunt passed away 2 years ago. You know what I mean? So like I don't know the words for how I feel about things until I can write it. You know what I mean? So like when I can write a song or write a verse, then I can kind of really accurately depict how I feel. Right? Same thing like when I had a son. You know what I mean? It was like I couldn't find the words, and then I wrote a song, and now I can speak about how I could just, you know what I mean? This is like, it's just, so it tends to come from that. But then also like if you just hear a really dope song or a really good verse, it's like, damn. You know what I mean? I need to go write. You know what I mean? Like, and that, and I'm a fan of like my peers. You know what I mean? Like, so not just these famous guys like Lupe or Eminem or but like guys who I do shows with, right? You know what I mean? Like we're all in North Carolina and go down to Atlanta or you know what I mean? So we're all like in this region, and it's guys who I'm like legit, like we're peers, but I'm a fan of them. You know what I mean? Like I can name a few like King Draft or C. Shreve the Professor or Danny Blade. Like it's all these guys who we all on the same level. You know what I mean? Like we're not higher or lower than anybody else because we're all just trying to break out. But like sometimes they might drop something and it's like, holy shit, I need to get on my grind. I need to, you know what I mean? Like that makes me want to write. You know what I mean? So it could be anything. It could be something that happened in the world. You know what I mean? Like, if it's, something like the cops killing a person. You know what I mean? Then it's like, damn, that makes me feel something in my heart. It makes me want to write. You know what I mean? If I see something that's uplifting, that I feel that in my heart too. I want to write it. You know what I mean? So it could be anything, man.
Yeah. So you draw inspiration from life.
Yeah, basically.
And you went into details. That is really, really good. Someone will say, oh, I get my inspiration from life. Yeah, right. Tell us what next.
Right, yeah.
So, Gomillz, at this point, we are about to wrap up and...
Oh, man, that was quick.
Hey, hold on. At this point, we are about to gossip. So we can
indeed.
lay back and gossip. We're going to gossip. We're going to whine. We're going to vent. We're going to address. We are going to compliment. any public issue, celebrity, public person or celebrity,
Yeah.
tautology. Um, any public thing you want to address, you want to compliment, anything you want to express, personal stuff or anything, just let it flow.
Yeah.
Gomillz.
Well, as far as like complimenting something, I recently was hugely inspired by LeBron James opening up a public school out in Akron
Mhm.
for like at risk and underprivileged kids.
Mhm.
That's a big deal. Um, because you see a person like that kind of setting the bar for what a guy at that platform is capable of. You know what I mean? Like even though people say like, hey, you should be your kid's role model, and don't have your kids looking up to athletes or don't have them looking up to me. But the bottom line is that when they grow up, it's pop culture is everywhere. You know what I mean? Sports are everywhere. Music is everywhere.
Mhm.
Or and somebody, whether you like it or not, is going to be somebody that they look up to. You know what I mean? Even
Yep.
if I could be the greatest dad in the world, I want to be my son's role model. But then when he's 16, some rapper's going to be his role model too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So as long as it's not somebody that's making them do nothing crazy, but that's what's going to happen. Like my grandfather was my role model, but I also looked up to other people. You know what I mean? But just seeing a person at that level, we haven't seen an athlete at that level, take on like social justice and social injustice, I should say, and racial discrimination and opening a school and sending kids to college and just all those things. So it's just setting the bar for what people at that level can do. So I'm hugely inspired by it. I want to be able to impact kids' lives, even if it's, not a school, but just in general, you know what I mean? Like, I try to, go back to like my old neighborhood because I still know people there, you know what I mean? I try to be, just be present, show them like, hey, you can grow up here and still, still go buy a house or still go to college if you want to, or rap and do whatever. You don't have to have a one-track mind of how growing up here is. But now I just want to do more. You know what I mean? So like, like what more can I do to help impact kids? Like that impacts those kids, but what can I do to maybe impact more kids around the city? You know what I mean? Like just seeing something like that. So definitely shout out to LeBron James and anybody that watches this video, hears this podcast. Like if you're a creative person, like get out and try to help kids discover themselves and discover what they're creative in, what their passion is too. I'm gonna try to sit down and write out what I can do to try to help out more kids myself.
Hmm. Yeah, the kids are the fruits of this nation.
Yeah,
And they are going to contain the seeds. So
exactly,
if they don't come out right, the seed will be bad. Too.
exactly,
Yeah,
man.
that's good. So you compliment LeBron. So let me switch this thing.
Mhm.
What are you up to now? What have you been doing? And I know you guys, you're part of what
What you mean?
What You Mean podcast.
What you mean podcast?
How do you say it? When they ask you, say what you
Oh,
mean.
when you say podcast,
Oh,
what
yeah.
you mean?
When you say podcast, what you mean? Yeah. So tell anybody listening or watching, tell them what you're up to, your music, what you've been doing. Let it flow.
Yeah. Of course, the podcast, like you just said, me and the homies, we do a podcast. We put it out every Saturday. It's on multiple platforms, man. iTunes, Spotify. I believe iHeartRadio finally approved our thing. But it's on a lot of different places. So we're continuing to do that. As far as me, I am currently working on a project. I'm about like 75% done. I got a couple songs I need to write and record and get everything mixed and mastered. And then I gotta take photos and things of that nature to kind of get it right. And then once I do that, I'm actively looking for shows though.
Mm-hmm.
So that way when the project comes, I can go ahead and get out and start performing the new music. Yeah, that's really it. I might, because I kind of slightly had a setback, I might actually end up putting out another song next week just to kind of hold me over. Because I got like maybe 4 or 5 songs complete. And I probably going to do about maybe 6 or 7 more.
Mm-hmm.
So I might just put out another song to kind of hold me over since I was really expecting to get this done in by the end of July, and I had things come up, and it just didn't allow me to do it. So put out another song that kind of hold people over, and then hopefully by the end of by the end of August, excuse me, I had a whole project out, and we can, people can ride to it and vibe to it for the fall.
All right. So, creative people, if you're listening or watching, he's saying some things which are going to happen in the next month, which is like August.
Yeah.
And as time goes on, if let's say you're listening to this podcast in September or December, check the description. You will find more information about what he's saying, and you get to catch up.
Yes, sir.
So just putting that out there. That is excellent. So I have one more thing I want to ask you, Gomillz. What do you wish you knew when you were starting?
I would say what I wish I knew when I started was to trust my gut instinct. That's just for me personally, and then I'll talk about like maybe something in the industry. But for me personally, trusting my gut instinct. When you know this, but like when you're creative, sometimes you tend to overthink because it's like, because at the end of the day, you still want people to like what you create. You know what I mean? Like, you're a creator, and you should be able to just kind of move how you want to move, and it's like, whatever. If they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. But no, we want to be liked. I want to be liked. I want to be loved. I want people to feel what I'm feeling. Trusting my gut instinct. I think I left a lot of different things on the table. I felt like I felt like I was late when I started doing things individually because I wasn't trusting my gut and going, when I was earlier. And then as I got older, certain songs or certain things that I wanted to do that I didn't put out, or that I didn't do, or that I realized it too late, like, man, but like now the moment's passed. You know what I mean? Definitely, if I had to talk to my younger self, I would tell him, if you feel it, do it. Just do it and put it out. Just do it. As far as just musically, I would say what I wish I knew when I started was I would say I wish I knew how to properly structure a song. I did not know how to write I knew how to rap, but I didn't know how to write a song. And it sounds simple, and it sounds like something that's small, but knowing how to write a song and ad libs and bridges and all these different things, I take you a long way. And I'm learning that now. Not now, I'd probably say I'm learning. I've been learning it over the last like 4 years. As my songwriting has gotten better, my opportunities have gotten better. You know what I mean? Like, those things and I wish I took that time to kind of study songwriting and how to structure a song, because my natural ability to rap would have enhanced when I was 18 or 19 versus how much it's gotten better after the age of 24, 25. You know what I mean? That's what I wish I knew. How to properly structure a song.
How to properly structure a song. And on that note, Gomillz.
Yes, sir.
It was a pleasure.
Definitely, man.
We learned that you learned something from your granddad, having a structure.
Yeah, consistency.
Consistency. When you feel it, do it.
Yeah.
Big ups to LeBron, and your family being your inspiration.
Yeah, man. Family and life, man.
Yeah, and not waiting on people to.
Yeah.
Just doing it when you
want to do it. Do it when you want to do it, man. When you feel it.
So just creative people, he's about to pull up something. I don't know if it's the right word to use, but he's about to rap. He's going to do some a cappella for us. So just stay tuned and listen to what he has to say. Gomillz, the floor is yours.
Me? All right, cool. Hey, look, our time gonna come. Just hope I'm here long enough to see it. They say seeing is believing. I've been waiting all these seasons. I put hope in all my speeches. Real inside my verses. I see pride inside my people till we end up in a hearse. I really put a sun inside my girl in case I leave this earth. Lord knows it's feeling like a race, so what's gonna happen first? If it goes down, my 2 feet of planet, I'm immersed. I never ran, bro, and I stand like a man, no. I ain't afraid of death. I'm scared I won't get what I came for. Been paying all these dues and I ain't trying to see my tab close. You swim with the tadpoles. Outside them piranhas who initiate the drama and spray bullets for the commissar. The cops set up a sting. For all my niggas trying to make $1, what you mean? Of course statistics gonna say we the problem, but for now I got some bigger fish. Fuck a job with benefits. I'm trying to live my dream and have my family reap the benefits. If you can't relate, then I don't give a shit. I actually got a chance when this all started with a fucking wish. I swear when I was down, I ain't complained none. And anyone who wanna shoot my dreams down, I hope they kill themselves with the same gun. You ever been lower than the basement when your brain make a statement like you see him getting money, go and take it, when 25 to life was what the little homie facing, all because some niggas tried his patience? Man, back to the basics. We gon' stay down till we come up. I ain't a gangster, but please, homie, don't run up. And I been saying I was the best. Niggas don't want us. Confirm that when I drop West a couple summers ago. These are the days of our lives. I always wonder, are these rappers really soldiers or acting like Tropic Thunder? Silver spoon fed niggas. I actually got the hunger. This life ain't for play. You the hunter or the hunted, I mean. And I've been stabbed in the back. I never fronted. And I spit them kind of raps that people feel in they stomach. And that 2-bedroom as small as a box. I want it for nothing. So mama, be patient. We know that money is coming. If you find somebody better than I, just know it can't be. I spit these raps and work 9 to 5. I really can't sleep. A few niggas hopped in my lane, but now they ain't me. That's why I say I'll never change. I'm the same me. Gomillz, man.
That was Gomillz. Hey, I was in the mood with you, man. I was just looking at you. I feel like rapping, but wow, that was amazing, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks, bro.
Creative people, I guess you're heard. I like how you shorten. You said something in there like, you didn't complete it, but I like how it flowed with it. That was really good. The words are really dope. This is called lyrics, not the beat up. It was a pleasure. So how can they find you? Just put out your website, your Instagram handle, what you have, what you are cooking, which you already said, but certain things.
So you can find me social media wise. You can find me on Instagram. It's Gomillz704. That's GOMILLZ 704. You can find me on Twitter at Gomillz. Or you can go to the website. It's gomillz.com. That's pretty much it. You can find me on those things. I'm constantly posting my little one, constantly posting music updates. And I got some things in store, not only just the music, but I'm also working on I'm actually going to put out a weekly YouTube video. Hopefully starting in September. I'm getting trying to find the right camera and everything to get it right, but it's going to be called Parking Lot Raps.
Parking
lot raps. And what it is that I'm literally just going to, because I spend a lot of time, like, people spend a lot of time like Snapchatting or Instagramming in their car and stuff like that. So I was like, I should like take my camera, and if I'm at Harris Teeter, I should like, hey, I'm in the Harris Teeter parking lot. I'm going to just rap. You know what I mean?
I'm going to put in some 16 bars.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to just go and put some bars out. So, it's something I've been, I think it's a way to kind of keep me sharp lyrically and musically, but then also maybe just give people, it's just about to rain.
Beautiful.
Give people, but also just kind of give people like, something refreshing. You know what I mean? Like, just something refreshing. They can get it every week, and it's just like, okay, So Parking Lot Raps. Hopefully we'll get it going. Beginning of, it's gonna be this year. I don't want to wait too late, but hopefully beginning of September I'll have like a first installment of Parking Lot Raps.
Parking Lot Rap. Would there be mumbling rapping?
It will be no mumble rapping.
Oh, it was a pleasure, Gomillz. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
All right, creative people. This was Creativity is an Idea podcast, and it is your source of creativity for you. If you're a creative person or you want to be inspired, you're listening to this. So it was a pleasure, Gomillz. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Coming through. West Side, we're looking for trouble.
Hey.
It until a nigga gotta die.
Hey, we eventually shine through. That's what West stand for.
Oh.
That's what it stands for.
We will eventually.
We eventually shine through.
Oh,
W-E-S-T.
okay.
Yeah, man.
Okay, I get it now.
It's the West.
I get it now. Okay. I was thinking of California somewhere. West
Well, I grew up on the west side of Charlotte, so
West side
that's
Charlotte.
what it is too. But then I created that acronym for it too. We eventually shine through.
We will eventually shine through. That sounds good. That sounds good. All right. Hey, you can stop listening. We are done.